Hello and welcome to the Mixed Tag Team Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Smitty, and with me, as always, is my lovely, beautiful fiance, Amber.
Hi.
And we are going to be talking about wrestling, the things that we love. First off, we want to touch on a little sour note. Nick Botwinkle, I believe he is a four-time AWA wrestling champion, World Heavyweight Champion. He passed away last night at the age of 80.
Yep, he passed away around 8:40 last night for the cause they said was just health issues. And if people don't know him, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2007. And he wrestled with people like Hulk Hogan, Billy Robinson, Ric Flair, if I remember correctly. Who else? Yeah, so it's sad.
It's
and also
sad.
he was really quick. He was on a Legends Lumberjack match not a couple, 5 years ago on Monday Night Raw.
I actually don't remember that.
Yeah,
Funny.
he took part in that. He wasn't it was like a Christian versus somebody. But yeah, it was a Legends Lumberjack match. And it was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe. Not exactly sure. But yeah, I remember that. And it was on Monday Night Raw. So if people don't know him, that's who he is. Yeah, so he passed away last night. It's sad.
Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, he's probably one of the more well-known golden age wrestlers around the 50s, 60s when the territories were really big back then. So condolences to his family and the wrestling community. Let's just move into something a little bit more positive and go with the World Heavyweight Championship tournament. It has been announced. 16 wrestlers took place in it. All the first round of matches are all done. And I guess we can start off with the beginning on how it was announced on Raw. Very interesting that Roman Reigns came out and Triple H basically offered him a chance to skip the tournament and just wrestle for the championship or have the championship handed to him if he joins the Authority. He did turn it down, but what do you think is going to happen with this?
First of all, I just want to announce that I'm sick. So if I feel weird or if I look, down or whatever, that's the reason why. I think I don't know, it could go two ways. He could either turn and then it's going to be him versus Dean Ambrose, or he's going to stay faithful and he's going to stay faithful and be a face wrestler still. It can go two ways. Personally, I think there's a chance he might turn heel, but then I am still banking on the fact that they might bring in somebody big to, I don't know, fill the void. That's
there.
I don't know. Yeah, thank you. Sorry,
Yeah.
my mind isn't all the way there today.
Yeah, I don't know. What I found interesting is that on Roman Reigns' side of the bracket, he has a pretty clear shot to make it to the finals. Now, on the other side, there's Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens will meet in the semifinals before meeting with Roman Reigns. I think it's clear to me if they bring Kevin Owens in, they are going to keep Roman Reigns' face. If it's Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns for the chance to win the championship, one of those two have to turn heel. I mean, to me, it's completely obvious that one of them would have to turn heel. And I would lean towards Roman Reigns because the easy answer is Ambrose because he has been a heel and he has been a good heel in the past, but he's more of a stone cold face right now where he does what he wants. Mm-hmm. And but he's still a likable character. He's not a bad guy. So
yeah, but I feel that he's too unpredictable for the Authority or like he would be too crazy to control because he's like this insane guy. So the Authority, I think that's the reason why the Authority went out or went for that's why I feel the Authority went straight for Roman Reigns and not Dean Ambrose because of that. And I do, like you said that somebody has to turn heel, but I was thinking just now that they have wrestled each other in the past, and both of them have stayed face.
Have they wrestled? I don't think they've wrestled each other since the Shield.
Have.
I
believe they have. I believe they have because it wasn't just a match between them. It was like a different match, but they eliminated everybody, and then it was them two against each other. Do you remember that? I can't remember where the timeline lies.
I do not remember that match. I know that they've wrestled with a third person in there or fourth person in there to be the buffer between the two. I don't think they've ever wrestled face versus face.
They have. They wrestled each other. They were against each other because I remember Dean Ambrose, if I remember correctly, Dean Ambrose went off first and hit Roman Reigns first, and then they went against each other, but then they were still cool.
Okay. I think that was like a SmackDown tournament. Like it was a battle royal. I don't know if it was
SmackDown. Is this light being weird, by the way?
It's going to be weird, but it'll be fine.
I can shut it.
It's fine. Anyways, I do think that I remember that briefly, but that's just a one-time thing. I mean, if the loser of this tournament, they're going to get a rematch in a sense. So, yeah, one of them do have to turn heel, in my opinion. So it's just who would, and that's just assuming that Ambrose will make it to the finals. Kevin Owens might get the chance to hold both titles. I doubt that happens, but that would be very much a internet craze for Kevin Owens to hold both titles at once. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
And Triple H is a Kevin Owens guy, so.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I don't know. Because Kevin Owens has a belt already, like, he's gonna if he has the belt, he's gonna stay with that belt and he'll lose.
Yeah.
I think the only way of moving him up is if he lost that belt, because they're not gonna do hold two belt things again because of Seth Rollins. So, but nobody knows. We'll see what they're gonna do.
Yep, we'll see what they're gonna do. But quickly, we'll get a look at what the brackets look like now, because it is down to 8 wrestlers.
Which I'm surprised they had so many wrestlers in there. I thought that they would just have like their main key people, and they had a lot. It was 16 altogether.
They did.
I thought it would be like 8 max.
Yeah. I don't have all of them right now, but I know that they right now it's down for the Roman Reigns side. It's Roman Reigns versus Cesaro will be one of the 4 matches. Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler is one of the 4 matches. Kevin Owens versus, I do not have the winner of that quite yet. Give me just a moment while my fiance fills this up real quick.
Okay, well, if I'm going to be a filler, let's talk about rumors and news that's going around. First, the biggest news ever, or the biggest news of the week is that Billy Gunn got fired. It was a shocker to everybody because nobody was expecting to, I don't know, hear that news exactly, because he wasn't on thin ice. He wasn't, he was just a WWE and NXT trainer. What happened is that he joined the powerlifting, the powerlifting world, I guess I could say. And he tested high on testosterone level, or his testosterone level was too high, and he tested for, what would that be?
PED.
PED test. It was a PED test. And it's like testosterone. it's based off of the testosterone and the epitestosterone levels, like the ratio between them. The regular ratio is like 4-1, and his was like 37-1. So, and this was back in July at a powerlifting meet. And WWE wasn't aware that he was doing this, or that he was like a participant, or he was a power lifter. So they didn't find out till recently, but it happened in July, which some people said it was 4 years ago and some people said it wasn't. It happened in July. And what happened is he got banned from powerlifting for 4 years. And then when WWE found out, they let him go.
All right. I do have some more results. In the shock, Kalisto beat out Ryback to advance in the tournament. Now, that is actually a pretty big shock there.
No, it's not.
Kalisto?
I don't think it is.
Are you serious? Kalisto beating Ryback? That's not a shock to you?
I think only because I hate Ryback.
We all hate Ryback, but the fact that he lost is crazy. I'm trying to find out Neville versus King Barrett, and I'm assuming Neville. Yep, Neville won, so it'll be Neville versus Kevin Owens and the Dean Ambrose side, and Kalisto versus Alberto Del Rio, which I guess that makes sense on why they did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Honestly, I probably still would have preferred to see Ryback versus Alberto Del Rio, but whatever.
Mm.
It's neither of those two are going to win the tournament, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I would not want to see Albert Del Rio versus Ryback.
Do you really hate Ryback
I don't know
that
why.
much?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather it be with him wrestle somebody that I wouldn't like care to see. Not care to see, but like somebody that like I didn't really want to see, so I didn't have to watch the match at all.
Okay.
Do you have any comments on Billy Gunn getting fired, by the way?
It was a shock out of nowhere. Like, I thought when you told me this, I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, he thought that I was lying, or that I was kidding, or I was joking around. He had to go to his source and, make sure that I was telling the truth when I already did all the research and it was legit. So I just want to let everybody know that I felt a little like, I don't know. Give credit where credit's due, okay? Have faith in.
Okay. Your sources sometimes are a little bit flaky. Like,
they are not flaky.
Yeah, they are. They are very flaky.
No.
But anyways, you were right about this one. And
I'm right about a lot of things, by the way, everybody.
Okay.
Just want to get that out of there.
But yeah, it was a shock to me, considering that he's one of the head trainers and developmental. It's a pretty big shock to me that they would just can him because he's not a performer. So why does it matter? But I guess he is a face of he is an employee, so they do, I guess, hold everybody to the same standards, which is cool.
Which is good, yeah. And he's tough enough too. Just want to add that in.
Yeah. But I do want to point out one thing from the World Heavyweight Championship tournament, which was a shock to me, is that there was no inclusion of Ryback. And it later found out that he is in Bulgaria with his fiance.
Ryback? You said Ryback. It's Rusev.
Ryback, I meant Rusev. Sorry. Wow. Thank you for the catch. Rusev is in Bulgaria with his fiance, Lana. And we did post some pictures on Facebook, so check that out. Facebook/Mixed Tag Team Podcast. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's some photos of them in Bulgaria, and it actually looks kind of cool. And apparently, he will be off of TV for a little bit, enjoying some R&R with his fiance, who is recovering from surgery.
Yep, and talking about now, I'm gonna just add this in now that we're talking about engagements and weddings. Rumor has it and it's a really good. I mean, it's a legit rumor that Randy Orton and his girlfriend Kim are going to be getting married soon, and that another reason why he's like taking time off is for the wedding and honeymoon.
Interesting.
So, yeah, congratulations to Randy Orton, and do not go and try to look that up because it is from your source. So you can't sit there and say that like, oh, I'm going to look it up on your tablet. Quick.
Oh, I'm not going to do that while we're on air. Thank you very much. But that actually does bring up a rumor that is not really confirmed at all. And I don't even think you knew that I'm going to talk about this. But one of the things that was discussed is the fact that Nikki Bella and John Cena are both taking time off right now, and the fact that, do you think that they might be getting married during this time off? You don't think so?
No. Nope. I don't.
Why not?
John is very, whoever watches Total Divas, John is very against getting married again. He's very against having kids. He's said it over and over and over to her. I'm not getting married again. I don't trust, like I trusted somebody before. They took advantage of me and my money. And I have a lot to lose. He pays for, he donates to charity. He pays for a lot of stuff when it comes to his family. He's an ultimate money source for a lot of people and a lot of things, a lot of organizations. So to put the trust in somebody again, honestly, I think it's doable. I think someday, but not now. Another thing, she really wanted kids, and he is absolutely against kids. He says that he's not a kids person, when it comes to having one himself, because he is a kids person, but when it comes to having his own, he's just too selfish with his, with his spending habits and his money. And he's said this before, he's just too selfish. And I'd take his word for it. And although there has been a shift in their relationship where, he's asked her, okay, if you had to pick between marriage and kids, which one would you pick? So I think that he's kind of opening the idea of her, being permanent in his life. Not that he hasn't already, but I think that he might be playing it around with the idea in his mind. But if you ask him, he'd be like, no. I don't know. I think it's possible that they will get married and someday, but knowing how Nikki Bella is, and I don't know, honestly, knowing how Nikki Bella is, I would think that she has expectations for her wedding and it would take a lot of time to plan. So I think that you would hear something about it. But then again, Johnny's he's a person, or he's very, he's like, not like Randy Orton, but his personal life isn't highlighted very much.
He keeps it private.
Thank you. He's a private person. So, you never know. But honestly, as of right now, I think the rumors are just rumors.
All right. I just wanted to touch on that because that is something that has kind of popped up online a little bit, considering they are taking a couple months off, which will, it's kind of, it's suspicious, but at the same time, they are together and they are a couple. So why wouldn't they take a vacation together, some time off together? So you never know. All right.
Yeah.
So,
sorry.
No, it's your turn.
Talking about John Cena, rumor has it is that he might come back early. This has been flying around for a while now. And that pretty much is how can I say this? Sorry, guys. WWE leans on John a lot than anybody probably ever knows. So, to fill this big void, who are they going to call? They're going to call John Cena. So rumor has it that he might come back early, a lot early, or what's the word? I can't talk today.
Just say a lot more early.
Earlier than expected.
Yeah.
But then supposedly it's been confirmed that they're like, no, we're not. Like John Cena's not returning early, even though he's been advertised for Monday Night Raw coming up supposedly. There's a source that said that he, no, they're not calling John back early from his vacation. Yeah, they're going to go in a different direction. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards they might not. But then again, you never know. He is the guy to go to. So you never know.
All right. I will give you my opinion. The people that say that he was, scheduled to show up on Raw, that was probably before they actually decided his vacation, because they start promoting the show months beforehand. Like when you sell the tickets, it's about 4 months before the actual show. The vacation that he did was a lot after that, so he's going to obviously still be highlighted. I'm sure Seth Rollins is still highlighted on some of these shows still. So I doubt that he's coming back. I do think that the WWE's already written him out of the story arc, and the fact that I think they want to keep the story arc going because they're going to push up people, and they have to have new faces if all these people are going to take time off. Like Randy Orton's out, Seth Rollins out, John Cena's out. They need to push new people. So it's a perfect time to do that, even though it's not ideal. I do think that that's what direction they're going to go to, because they don't want to have this happen again in the near future and to rely on 1 or 2 or 3 people.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, because I don't have the little dots or anything telling me that I can hear myself. Anyways, also, like, there has been rumors flying around, okay? A couple rumors has been, like, Batista's going to come back.
WrestleMania, possibly.
Yeah, and then that's WrestleMania, but, like, coming back early and lead up to WrestleMania, which there's a couple of WrestleMania rumors, which we'll get to that later. But another one is Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar might return. His most recent contract that he signed had more dates and money than before. And then they renegotiated his contract just recently for more dates and more money. So he might be relied on as well. And then the WWE fans, like, they're already buzzing about WrestleMania, 32 this year?
Yep.
Then they're already saying that Batista might come, or Batista, versus Brock Lesnar? They're talking about that, but there's even been a story saying that, like, they're going to pull Batista in earlier, which I think is unlikely.
Very unlikely with his movie schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so.
I want to touch on the Brock Lesnar one first. I do think that it would be possible that they're going to rely on him a little bit more, but at the same time, like, what are you going to do with Brock Lesnar? Like, you can't just have him wrestle
anybody.
So there's nobody for him to wrestle. I mean, besides going for the World Heavyweight Championship, which doesn't make sense if you're going to just crown a new one right now. Mm-hmm. I don't get it.
Yeah, and the thing is that everybody knows Roman Reigns is going to trickle down to, everybody knows Roman Reigns is going to trickle down to being in the final match, and it would not make sense to have him fight, like, if he did get it, it wouldn't make sense for him to fight Brock Lesnar because they did it in WrestleMania 31.
Yeah. Well, it's unfinished business, though, because that was actually a pretty good match.
True. I don't know about pretty good. It was pretty much just Brock Lesnar doing what everybody said he was going to do and throwing around Roman Reigns. The only difference is Roman Reigns was laughing about it. And, I don't know. So it is unfinished business, but I think that business, I don't know. I could see where it was going.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time thinking that they would have Brock Lesnar show up more right now, maybe after the Royal Rumble, that might make sense to set up a feud for then. But for now, it doesn't seem plausible because there's nobody for him to wrestle. And you're not just going to give Roman Reigns or Dean Ambrose this golden opportunity just to get beat by Brock Lesnar in a few weeks. So I do think they probably did redo his contract to do more, but I just don't see it being this calendar year. Maybe at the beginning of next year. Yeah. Yep. I want to point out another notable absence from the tournament was Bray Wyatt. And that's obviously because of the current story arc, but I do think that it's kind of weird that you would add Tyler Breeze in the tournament, but not, a guy that's actually beaten some of the top guys in Bray Wyatt.
I think, honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because, first of all, Tyler Breeze, they're giving him that push right now. So I'm not surprised that he got thrown into the mix, including when it was like they had to find 16 people or they had to recover 16 people that doesn't have a plan for house shows, that doesn't have a plan for, SmackDown, that doesn't have a plan for a main event, that doesn't have a plan for, Raw already. But I think they're going to be leaving Bray Wyatt alone until next Sunday. I just think that it's no surprise that they left Bray Wyatt alone because of the big match with the Brothers of Destruction.
Yeah.
Which I want to touch base on that.
Go ahead and start touching base on that.
It was confirmed on SmackDown that they're not going to have the Wyatt family versus the Brothers of Destruction and two other people. It's going to be more like a tag team match. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to still be a Survivor Series match, but I'm not sure if it'll have more people involved because, who else are you going to add with the Brothers of Destruction? And we talked about this last week. It's hard to see who you would add on it. So it might be elimination, but it's not going to be 5-on-5 for sure because there's not even 5 Wyatt family. So
nope. Yeah, it's just going to be from what I got, it's just going to be the Brothers of Destruction versus the Wyatt family and nothing more. Nothing
exactly.
less.
Which I'm not necessarily thrilled about because, you can make the Brothers of Destruction look strong and all can be, but it's still 4 grown men versus 2 grown men, and they're all big people, so it's going to be hard to see Kane and Undertaker having any chance to win that.
Yeah, but you never know because it is The Undertaker and it is, Kane, the devil's favorite demon. Like, it is them. So, given that, they've always survived. They've always, so I don't know, exactly who's going to win. And it could go 2 ways. They could, there's no secret that this might be The Undertaker's last match.
It's one of his
confirmed. Wait, time out. One of his sorry, I had to rethink on that. It's one of his last matches. So you never know, he might just crush everybody in his path. And then with Kane being there, that's even better. But then it might go the other way where they might give Bray Wyatt the credibility that he's been needing. And
for
have
a very long time. God, yeah.
Even though he just got beat, but it might give him the credibility and the push that they need to keep going with his evil persona. So you never know. I don't know how that's gonna go, and I don't have any predictions on that one because I don't know. I'm hoping that the Undertaker and Kane win and moves on to the next person. But then there's a problem. Who would that next person be?
Yeah.
You know?
There would be no next person.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. So I don't know. And then with the Wyatt family, I mean, they really. I mean, come on. It's like 4 people.
The problem that
is it 4 or 5?
It's 4.
Okay,
Luke
just
Harper,
making sure.
Braun Strowman.
Well, you said 5-on-5 before, so I was confused.
That's the traditional Survivor Series. It's 5-on-5.
Okay, yeah, okay.
But WWE, I think, is now because yes, this feud is kind of cool, but what are you going to do next? You can use the momentum for Bray Wyatt if they win, which they probably will, in my opinion.
Really?
I do think they're going to win, but what are you going to do with them? Like what's next? Like, who are they going to face? Like, it just doesn't make sense because there's no huge teams, and I don't see them going gangbusters and taking over the WWE. So I do see there might be a slim chance that 2 of the 4 will be tag team champions. I do possibly see that because I think they're going to transition New Day out of there with the Usos and have the Usos lose to the Wyatts, 2 of the Wyatts. That's just my opinion. But I don't see what are you building towards with either of them, because I know that the rumor is Undertaker versus John Cena at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
So it won't be Undertaker's last match. It might be Kane's. I know Kane's been looking to retire for a few years. But it's to what end? And I just don't see anything happening after this. Like, there's no momentum. There's no push towards either of them, regardless if they win or lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, and that's, I don't know, that's the thing. Like, where do you go after any of them win or lose? Like, where do you go? Like with the Wyatts, they can't just go around tormenting people, or just tormenting just anybody. Like, it has to be a thoughtful plan if they're going to be like this evil, like this big old, I don't know, like evil clan,
Ooh.
So.
I just did think of something, though.
Hold on, I was thinking they could pull it where they eliminate 2 and do like sheep versus sheep. But then I don't know if they would do that. But I thought of that a really long time ago. And then I'm like, no, they might just keep it. But it might be sheep versus sheep 2 that they could do to eliminate one of them or even, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. I did think of something that is a very long shot, but it would be pretty cool to see. What if, because Roman Reigns won't turn to the Authority, if they actually recruit the Wyatt family and it just becomes them running rabbit over the WWE? What if they recruit Bray Wyatt to win the championship and that's what happens? Because that actually it's a slim possibility, because they've done something like that before with the corporate ministry, where they've turned the corporate dark and basically have them rule the faces of fear. So I could see that as a really big long shot. I don't think it will happen, but it would be kind of cool, though.
It would be kind of cool, but then in the sense that he does talk in riddles, and that he don't know, that he talks in riddles. I don't think the Authority would have patience for that. And then 2, he's always getting beat.
He is always getting beat.
All of them, they're always getting beat, And
let's say Braun Strowman, he doesn't lose.
Well, that's because he bear hugs them till there's no oxygen left to their brains or whatever, and their bear hug is gonna, I think, come to an end soon, or the winning streak, because honestly, I don't know, he's not that big of a person.
He's not going to be a big person as in character, or he's not big as in physical?
I don't think he's physically big enough to. I mean, it's a possibility. Okay, in real life, he could probably hug somebody until they pass out. But he's not. I don't know. I just don't like his finisher, honestly.
Well, that's not necessarily his
I don't
finisher.
know. I feel like that's his finisher. But I don't know. I just don't see him being as strong. Anyways, I just don't see him being like a strong pillar enough for the Authority to use like the Wyatts have been using him. That's what I wanted to get to.
Yeah, I agree with that. But he can be the muscle, which is what his job is for the Authority. It's just a thing I'm throwing out there. I doubt that it happens. But if it does, I called it on the podcast.
Oh my goodness. You're funny.
But do we have anything else to discuss?
Let's see. I don't know. People are buzzing already about WrestleMania 32. And it has been kind of confirmed that The Rock might not be there. And I was talking to you about this the other day. He is going to be filming during that time of year next year. And it would be too big of like a liability for him to wrestle. So they might not be wrestling this year like everybody thought he would have been.
Yeah, because there was a teaser about him versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, there's always teasers about him versus somebody. They were teasing for last year about him
Brock
versus
Triple H.
Yeah, and then it never happened. And they were like, well, next year. And it's like, eh. But, yeah. He's not. It's too big of a liability. If he gets injured, there's a possible chance that they couldn't shoot without him, or whatever he's doing in the movie. They wouldn't be able to go on without him. So it's too big of a liability. So if WWE hauls out tons of cash,
which they might be willing to do at this point.
But for insurance purposes and stuff. To shell out tons of cash, they might, but otherwise, I mean, that's pretty much about it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always WrestleMania rumors. I do think that WrestleMania plans, a lot of them probably have been killed because of Seth Rollins being injured, and there's a chance he might be back by that time, but it's unlikely, extremely unlikely. So I do think that WWE right now is scrambling because they did not predict 3 of their stars being out, and 2 of them, Randy Orton and Seth Rollins, being out for a while. So that really hurts the company, but I do think that gives a lot of opportunity to a lot of the NXT wrestlers to possibly come up because a lot of them do deserve it. There's a lot of good males in NXT right now. Not so much the females right now since they all been called up, but a lot of the males are really good. Like I can see Finn Balor doing middle card stuff up there. Apollo Crews, I love that guy. He's athletic freak in nature. Who's that? The Lone Wolf. I forget his name.
I know.
Dang it. Baron Corbin. Yeah, he's a decent sized guy, and I can see him doing some middle card stuff. Nothing more than like middle card, but I can see potential with him. So they have some talent down there. So
I kind of hope they don't.
Push them up.
I kind of hope they don't.
Push who up? All of them?
I hope they push nobody up. There's so many people on the main roster that they just do not use.
No, because they're not good enough.
They could be good enough if they invested the time instead of just sending out to house shows or sending them out to main event or sending them out to wherever and just be like, oh, they're not good enough, and actually working with them to be good enough. Like, I think there's a lot of potential in the main roster. They just don't use them because they need to highlight everybody else. But now that everybody else is out, this gives them more chance to highlight and work with those people that they already have. Work with the people that are already traveling with them, work with the people that know the flow of WWE, and has been there a while, knows what they got to do, people that have been working on their stuff. Like, I think it's time. I think it's time to kind of start highlighting new talent and, well, not new talent, but
the existing talent
they haven't, exactly, talent that they haven't, I mean, utilized yet, pretty much.
Yeah, like Jack Swagger. Like, he's facing Alberto Del Rio.
Jack Swagger. Well, again, they're facing each other again. But I mean, he's been missing in action for a while. He's been down on, like, main event, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been on main event and house shows.
He's a good wrestler. He's decent. But I mean, he knows how to get the fans behind him, I think.
I think he got the right gimmick. He doesn't know how to get the fans behind him because they hated him when he was World Heavyweight Champion. He was horrible.
Well, we're not talking World Heavyweight Championships now. We're talking about, like Albert Del Rio could be a WWE, World Heavyweight Championship holder. I don't even know if it's
champion.
I'm really off. Kevin Owens has tons of potential. That guy has everything, Let's hope that he doesn't get burned out, and let's hope that the ball keeps on rolling for him, because I really think that he is, like, people need to be scared of him because he is a good potential person.
Champion.
Yeah. Who else do they have? I think, let's see, Jack Swagger could take it, or Jack Swagger could be a part of that. Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler has been in the motion forever. They always, as a face, they always depend on him. I know he has this thing with Tyler Breeze, but they could put him somewhere.
I think the problem is a lot of these wrestlers that you pointed out have injury issues. Like Dolph Ziggler with the concussions, he's lucky he's wrestling, because look at what Daniel Bryan, he's having a tough time getting cleared. Dolph Ziggler has a lot more concussions than Daniel Bryan has, and he's very susceptible to them. The thing with, like, Bad News Barrett, he's a great wrestler, and he probably would be pushed up if he didn't always have shoulder injuries. It's just a lot of these wrestlers are at the places they are because of the injuries, and they just can't risk putting a big belt or even a medium-sized belt on these wrestlers because they just are always injured.
I guess, but they could be put into the mix somewhere instead of just, like, seeing them every time they need to have I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. They need to start utilizing their talent, I feel. Injuries or not.
They need to utilize Mark Henry and bring back the world's strongest man.
No, they don't.
Because that's what I do.
He needs to retire right with everybody else in the retirement line.
Like Big Show?
They both can just go together. No, I don't know, honestly, because I like the Big Show. I don't like him.
He's about out, too.
He probably is, but I don't like him being a heel. I like him being face.
But he's a giant.
Doesn't matter. You can be a giant and still be good. I don't know. I like him. I hope he stays. And I don't hope he stays heel. I hope he stays in his face for a little bit longer. I don't know. I think maybe I just like his music.
Yeah, you do like his music because
I like his music.
It's striptease music.
I see, like, whenever I hear his music, like, I always see, like, just like, I don't know, it could be like a stripper's like intro music. I don't know. But I do like the Big Show. But then again, he is getting up there. So
I think they need to push to the future. I think right now is the time to push towards the future.
Kevin Owens.
He's the future face of WWE, Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
He is money in the bank.
Until he gets injured.
Well, that's the one thing about him. He hasn't really actually gotten injured in the indie circuit. He's been wrestling for like 12 years.
Yeah, there's always
there's always time for first, though. Yeah, exactly. Like Seth Rollins. He was never injured until now.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, it doesn't surprise me because the Authority hasn't been supporting him lately like they usually do, so I'm not surprised that he's injured, honestly.
Well, that makes no sense whatsoever.
Yes, it does, because usually he has everybody doing the work for him, and then he comes in and finishes it. Instead, now he's been having to do all the work.
Okay.
And that's probably why he got injured. It makes plenty of sense to me.
Okay. And La La Land. Okay.
Whatever. Gosh, now you made me forget what I was gonna say or what I was gonna talk about. Oh well.
Well, actually, I think this is the perfect time to end this podcast right now.
Is there anything else big going on? Because I feel like we're missing divas. We always have to touch base on divas.
Okay, divas. Honestly, there's really nothing new with that. I mean, it's nothing new that we haven't discussed in the last week.
I heard something about your wrestler crush, Sasha Banks.
What about Sasha Banks?
I heard one of the reasons why they're not doing anything with Sasha Banks is because of Vince McMahon.
Really?
Yeah.
What about Vince McMahon?
That he's on the fence. I actually put this on our Facebook just for you. He's on the fence of using her. He's not a big fan of her.
Interesting.
So that's the reason why that they're kind of keeping her in the background for a little bit, is to have them decide exactly what they're going to do with her, because they don't see her. I don't know, maybe they don't see the potential or something. I don't know exactly. It's on our Facebook. Maybe he's just more looking at talent and not her ass like you do. Who knows?
Wow. No, that's not.
I said it.
Wow.
I said it.
Honestly, if you're looking at talent, she has the talent. She has the talent. She has the talent. It's possibly the gimmick, and honestly, I think they are so in love with Charlotte that it's going to be hard for them to push. I know the fans hate Charlotte too. God, like I don't understand why they're pushing her, but because they have these ideas of what divas are, and they're so stuck in that they don't hear the fans screaming that they want something different with the divas division, and until like they realize, hey, this is what what the fans really want. It's not just Charlotte. They want it. They want change. They want all these good wrestlers that were in NXT to be able to just show off what they can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, think about it now. The Bellas are taking off time. Natalya's up there. Huh?
Naomi sucks.
Naomi, yeah, she's super athletic, but they're just not.
No gimmick for her. No gimmick.
Exactly. She was on the fence of turning heel.
I mean, she is heel, but she's not a good heel.
Before she was heel, and she found out that she was going to turn heel, she was on the fence about turning heel because she didn't know how to do it. At first, she came out and she portrayed being a heel perfectly, or turning perfectly. Now it's getting old. I need to see something different with her character because she's not pulling it off like she used to. How about that? Tamina, I love Tamina. I think just because she's super pretty to me.
She's Polynesian, so I'm just gonna throw that out there. Your little Polynesian love. Yeah,
no, it's not. I think I just like her because she's super pretty and she's like the muscle. She's like the muscle of the group. But she's always been used as the muscle. Not saying to bring her to the spotlight, but definitely maybe put her on her own for once or twice or whatever. But I don't know. And then Sasha Banks, who knows what's going to happen with her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, those are the main people. I mean, what other divas are there really? Summer Rae.
They're all in NXT or their managers.
So I don't know. Nia Jax. She wrestled. Who did she wrestle?
Nia Jax?
Yeah, on NXT.
It was some no-name person. Nothing.
I want them to bring Nia Jax up.
Well, they probably will at the same time they bring up
Bayley?
What's her face? No, not Bayley.
Bayley?
No, the Eva Marie.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, that's probably what they'll do is they'll send them up at the same time because that's how she's gonna, dominate the women's division is through Nia Jax.
Yeah. I wonder what they're gonna do with Paige, though.
I don't know. I mean, Paige is really good, and I don't understand what they're doing because they just basically had cold feet with Paige in the last 6 months. Like, she's been always in the championship mix, but nothing.
It was probably because of her strike 2.
Yep.
Should I touch base on that of what her strike 2 was?
I think you've done it before, but you can do a brief recap though.
Her strike 2 was she was supposed to get in the ring with Cameron. She was supposed to get in the ring with Cameron to train her a little bit, and Cameron sucked. Cameron just is not a good wrestler at all, and nor did she care about the safety of Paige. So Paige got really mad and started, or not attacked her, but definitely went after her. Like, if you're not gonna think about my safety, I'm not gonna think about yours, and started really going after her. She got in trouble for that because she was supposed to be somebody that Cameron looked up to. She was supposed to be kind of a trainer for Cameron, maybe like a bigger sister in the company kind of thing. And Paige got mad and she went off, and I don't know, she didn't hit her, but she definitely started playing a little bit more rough than she should have, or rougher than she should have been. And which I completely understand, because I do the same thing. How many times can you tell a person, hey, don't do this because it's unsafe, and they'll keep on doing it? So I completely understand. But so that was her strike 2. So maybe that's why they've kind of held off on that, because of her strike.
Maybe. And I think they're just pushing the new divas. But yeah, let's end this podcast right now. Do you have anything else to say?
Nope.
All right. Thank you for watching us. This is the Mixed Tag Team Wrestling Podcast. And make sure you check us out on iTunes. We are on iTunes, or you can download us at mixedtagteampodcast.podbean.com. This podcast is straight money in the bank. Check us out. Download us. Until next time, make sure you peace.
Bye.